Kenny Omega. So JD, you didn't get a chance to watch the shows, but you did get a chance to watch Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. And I mean, is Kenny Omega freaking back, or is he freaking back?
I told everybody this was going to be great. Like when Jeremy was on the show last week, I said, no, this is going to be real good. Like Kenny Omega knows what he's doing. He sees something in Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd could be their next big Gaijin star, which after that match, I think he might be. I fucking love this match. I'm so glad you said it to me. Some madman is going to have his Twitter nuked by, Tokyo Sports. Like
Yeah.
it's sorry, man. It's going to happen.
God bless whoever that guy was that uploaded the whole match to Twitter, because
for the team.
It helped our podcast out tonight.
Absolutely. I watched it before the show. It was awesome. Kenny's got it. Like, I think Kenny took some extra time just to make sure he was nice and healthy. He did not look like he missed a step. I said working a brutal hardcore match with Gabe Kidd is going to be a nice, easy transition back. I was right. And we saw what Kenny's able to do. Like,
yeah, no, you were right. Except for the part where you said easy transition. That match was brutal. Like, he took a lot of risks. He did all the old Kenny Omega spots. He wasn't taking any, like, he didn't come into a half-ass match. Like, they did the brawling around the ring, right? Because, Gabe Kidd is basically Buzz Sawyer, right? So they had to do all the brawling stuff around the ring because that's his gimmick. But he still got all the signature Kenny Omega spots. Like, he's doing all the dives over the top rope, all that shit. He did a dragon suplex off the top rope. I'm like, brother, you almost died last year. What are you doing? But he's freaking Kenny Omega. He can't not be Kenny Omega.
Yeah, but he didn't do all of it. Like he picked and chose his spots well.
Yeah.
It was a 35-minute match, and like a lot of it was brawling. I do think it was maybe not an easy transition, but it was a great transition back in there. So when we do get him in AEW, all the ring rust's very clearly been worked out. Like, it was an excellent match. It was a beautiful way to see Kenny Omega just back. Like, it's so heartwarming to see. And I think he did a lot to help elevate Gabe Kidd. Like when Gabe Kidd gave him the 2 middle fingers and ate that V trigger, it's so perfect for the Japanese audience, because the Japanese audience just loves that. Like, we call it fighting spirit, but it's a cliche thing, but it's the attitude of, I'm going to eat this shot, but you can kiss my fucking ass while I eat this knee. Cause I don't, cause fuck you. That's why. Like, and that stuff gets over in Japan. And it was like, just absolutely beautiful. Like, Gabe Kidd kicked out of that V trigger at 1 and was just like, but he knew he didn't have anything left. It was that great, very Japanese, I have nothing else left, but I'm not going to give up until you absolutely murder me, which he did. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. My favorite match of the year so far in 2025.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you have not seen Shota Umino versus Zack Sabre Jr., so I don't know if you can rightfully say that it's the best match of the year so far.
Is Shota Umino one of the most disappointing projects in pro wrestling? Like 6 years ago, people thought he was going to be really special.
Well, you know what? I think that's because they're being propped up by AEW fans, because Moxley was over there calling him Shooter. And you know what I mean? So they just really got behind the guy because Moxley was with AEW and he was over there and he was like his young boy.
Did too, though.
Yeah. He never really did anything with it, I don't think. So but they're really trying to elevate the guy, but the crowd has turned against him.
Yeah, because they figured out he's not that great and he's kind of lazy in the ring. I mean, he's like, I remember when he was at Rev Pro. Again, I listened to the flagship, so I kind of get what's going on over there, and they were really harsh on him. Like, said he gotten kind of fat, gotten kind of lazy, and then he came back to New Japan, and it just, I don't know, man, he never seems to get out of that next gear. Like, it's entirely possible that he just doesn't have it, and they want him to have it. Like, he's got that pedigree, but he just doesn't have Yota Tsuji's charisma. He's not that great in the ring. Like, he's fine, but like, I don't think he's a guy.
He's Sonata, like,
he's Sonata-like,
yeah. Sonata was on the pre-show this year, and he was in the main event last year, so that's how far he's fallen. And he wrestles in a T-shirt now. That's Sonata. So that's where he's at.
So he's following the Naito plan now. I'm just gonna wear a shirt to the ring and
yeah, nice. Naito tanked his performance against Hiromu Takahashi, but then they formed a tag team. So anyway, back to Kenny Omega. So he David Haley, Mike and JD, how are you guys? Haven't caught you guys in a long while since I started my job as a corrections officer. Are you a corrections officer in Cobb County, Georgia? Because I think that would be fascinating to hear. Because if you ever had a trip to Cobb County, Georgia, you'd be serving hard time, I think.
You may read the signs and obey law and order, or else you'll be serving hard time.
Yeah. But thanks for being here, David Hadley. So, man, but Kenny Omega is all the way back. I think AEW has the top star that they've ever had. He's completely all the way back right now. Not only is he making himself look good, as you said, he looks like he might have turned Gabe Kidd into something special. He got the nod of approval from Hiroshi Tanahashi as that match, or as the whole thing was ending. Tanahashi looking at him like he almost had like tears in his eyes, looking at Gabe Kidd with pride because he just went to war with one of the greatest of all time.
See, if that doesn't say that we believe in you, I don't know what does. That's what I'm talking about. They need to make a guy. I think because again, in Japan, you can pull this off. In loss, you can really become something special. And I really think that Gabe Kidd's violent, heartfelt performance really put him out. I love when you said he's Buzz Sawyer last week. I'm like, yeah, man, Mike hit the nail on the head. This dude is definitely, he's got those Buzz Sawyer traits, but Buzz Sawyer was a madman. I don't think that I think Gabe Kidd plays the madman very effectively. Yeah. Buzz Sawyer actually was a complete lunatic.
Yeah, and his character is doing all the shoot promos and stuff like that. I don't know how well that would get over in the States. He would probably have to, work some of that out. But I think I think that Gabe Kidd could probably get over anywhere, but he's kind of a made guy in New Japan right now. So after seeing Kenny Omega in that match with Gabe Kidd, I'm probably gonna watch that a second time here pretty soon. I might actually, after I get all this shit uploaded, I might just go back and rewatch it because I enjoyed it that much. I was thinking to myself, we had the conversation last week about, Kenny Omega comes back at what was it called? World's End. Yeah, AEW World's End. He comes back and he comes back in the semi-main event segment to confront Kazuchika Okada. And I couldn't just stop but think I want to see Omega and Okada go at it again. But it really should be Omega coming back to dethrone Jon Moxley. I'm so done with the Death Riders. I want to just end the whole thing. I would rather him just come back and kill Jon Moxley off. That's the greatest feud in AEW history. Those are the two biggest rivals in AEW history. It only makes sense for Omega to dethrone him. I know they want to get Darby over, but this whole thing is dragging out too long. The storyline is dead. It's dragging the company down. I'd like to see Kenny Omega just end the whole damn thing.
I think that might be delayed till Double or Nothing, because that's a big show for them. It might be. I know they're trying to make All In their WrestleMania. If that's their WrestleMania, this is their Royal Rumble. So I think that you want a top match there, and I don't think you got a bigger one, to be quite honest with you. I think you do Moxley versus Cope at Revolution, and then do Moxley versus Omega then.